Hello, and welcome to the third in our series of discussions with members of Vistage Group 8657 here in the greater Boston area. I'm Craig James, and I'm the chair of the group. For those of you who aren't familiar with Vistage, it's a worldwide CEO development organization providing programs comprising confidential facilitator-led peer advisory groups, individual coaching, expert speakers, and a worldwide community of over 40,000 members across 30 countries. And while CEOs join for a variety of reasons, all have at least three reasons in common: to make better decisions, to become better leaders, and to get dramatically better results. In other words, to scale. With us today is Jason Vining, president of Salem Metal Inc. Jason, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Craig.
Glad you're here. So, Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you originally from? Where did you go to college? And a little bit about your career at SMI.
So I originally grew up in Lynn, Mass. My father had started a precision sheet metal business back in 1970, and I have worked there for many, many years, graduating from college at UMass Dartmouth, and came back to the business working full time. And we've been in business for 55 years. I bought my father out in 2009 and became the president of the company.
55 years, that's remarkable. Uh, what's the story of Salem Metal? I know you're based in Middleton, Mass, but the company's name is Salem. How did that come about?
So originally in 1970, the company was incorporated in Salem, Massachusetts, and we had a terrible fire back in 1986
Hmm.
that pretty much burnt the building to the ground. So we ended up having to relocate temporarily, and then finally we were in Middleton, Mass, at a facility for over 30 years. And then we just recently moved about 6 years ago to a brand new, larger state-of-the-art facility as well in Middleton.
And what was the purpose of moving, Jason?
We were looking to grow and expand the business. We were out of space at our old facility, so we were not able to add new equipment to the already equipment we had. We wanted to get more into robotic technology and automation, and a lot of those systems require a lot more floor space, and we just did not have the room to be able to ultimately grow. We thought about adding an additional shift to expand the business, which we had done from time to time, but ultimately the opportunity came that there was a new industrial park being built in the town, and the opportunity to move to a new facility, much larger, to be able to scale our business was the decision that we made.
And what is Salem Metal's core business, Jason?
We are precision sheet metal manufacturers, so all custom built product. We serve a variety of industries, including medical device, electronics and computer, some military work. We recently got into a lot of robotic automation for warehousing robotics. And we also provide CNC milling machining and painting and powder coating right in-house.
Wow. And what would you say is special about Salem Metal? There are a lot of sheet metal fabricators just in New England alone. You could probably count them on three hands or
Yeah,
four. What makes Salem Metal special?
I like to think our commitment to customer service with also the quality. We build a lot of precision products, so the tolerance and specifications have to be very accurate. And customers know that when they come to Salem Metal, we're going to build it right the first time.
Mhm.
And it's going to be used for their specific application without having to, rebuild it because something didn't fit or there was an issue with it.
Yeah, I can certainly see how that would be critical in medical device, for example. Yeah. Turning to Vistage, Jason, how did you learn about Vistage?
I learned about Vistage through a person that worked for our PEO, which is Insperity. She had thought that maybe Vistage would be something I'd be interested in taking a look at. She knew at the time that I was looking to grow my business, and the idea of Vistage could be, certainly beneficial. So that's where I had originally learned about it, had not heard about it before.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that she had taken the opportunity to reach out to me and let me know about it.
And you've been a member for how long now, Jason?
I've been a member since December of 2016, so just about 8.5 years now.
I guess that would make you the longest tenured member of the group.
Yes, that is correct.
I didn't want to say oldest, but longest tenured. If you can think back that far, Jason, at the top of the podcast, I mentioned a number of reasons why people typically get involved in peer groups. They want to grow their business, become better leaders. What was your motivation? If you can think back that far, what did you want to get out of this?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I had bought the business from my father, as I had mentioned in 2009. I don't have, any other partners in the business. I don't have a board, if you will. And, let's face it, sometimes it gets lonely up at the top with everything
Mhm.
you're dealing with on a daily, weekly basis. So the idea to really have other like-minded business owners who share the same passion to grow their business, to be successful, and be able to have, sort of that sounding board for me, I thought would be very beneficial. And it certainly has been, given my, tenure of 8.5 years, that I've seen the value in what my peers in my group are able to provide to my business.
Yeah, that's a good testimony. How specifically can you think of some ways that you specifically, you yourself personally, or the business have benefited from your membership?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy certainly the camaraderie of the group. It provides me an opportunity to get out of the office for a day,
Mhm.
and just work more on the business versus in the business. I've brought, several issues to the group over the last 8.5 years that I either wasn't quite sure how to handle, or I had an idea of maybe how to handle a particular situation, by which the group was able to validate that and just sort of set me on the right track to be able to then deal with it when I get back to the office.
At the top of the episode, I described Vistage as a CEO development organization. How would you describe it, Jason, in your words?
I think it's an organization where you can not only grow your business, but you can also grow as a person. You're making personal development changes, being open to learning from others from with
Mhm.
different perspectives. And, ultimately that's able to enhance how you run your business, getting different perspectives, looking at things differently. You always have to be thinking of, how can I improve? One of our core values is continuous improvement. And just because it's the way that we've done something over the last, several years, we understand that, we have to constantly be continuously improving, especially from a manufacturing process standpoint, to be able to maintain competitiveness within the industry.
What got you here won't get you there.
You got that right.
Vistage is it's not cheap, is it? How do you justify the expenditure?
This is a question that I've been asked before, and I say, how can you not justify the expenditure? The value that you get out of the monthly meetings, the speaker sessions, during the monthly meetings, access to my Vistage, the various blogs that are on my Vistage where people are posting inquiries and sharing of information all over the country. There's a lot of value, I feel, in my membership with Vistage.
There's also a rather significant or not insignificant time commitment, isn't there? A full day a month, that's oftentimes difficult for a CEO or president of a company to justify. How do you how do you justify it?
I've got in the habit of really, just putting the meeting dates, in my calendar for the entire year. And, ultimately, it's quite easy to schedule other things around that. I look at it as, you have a decision, whether or not you're going to go to the gym every week or not. And you can always come up with excuses of, well, why I'm not going today, why I'm not going to go tomorrow. Put it in your schedule. It's there. The members of the group, they're relying on you to be able to attend the meeting. And the value that you ultimately receive, it doesn't end up becoming as much of a concern as one would think. Every time I come back to the office the next day, my work is still here. It'll always be here. But getting the opportunity to step outside the business, I think is quite important.
Oh, amen to that, right? Well, Jason, I want to thank you for your time and your contribution today. This concludes episode number 3. I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll join us for the next episode, which will feature another member of Vistage Group 8657. You can find the recordings of all the episodes on our YouTube channel, as well as contact information for the guests and the host. See you next time.